Welcome back, everybody. My name is Ted Stovin, and this is Cowboy Shit, the podcast. My co-host, Mr. Dustin Edwards. Dustin, been pretty reasonable winter so far in Calgary.
Oh, it's beautiful. I was outside today. We were out at the barn and I actually went in a t-shirt in February. And that's probably the fourth time I've been in a t-shirt this winter in and around Calgary. It's been pretty darn nice, man. Pretty darn nice.
But does that just mean we're gonna have a nasty April, like just like a snowy, cold April, or what are you thinking? Like we're getting kind of we're getting lucky here in February.
Well, what's this? Is this El Nina? Is that what we're
Oh,
on?
I
El
don't know.
Nina?
I'm
Where
not
she,
sure.
yeah, well, whatever she is, she's been beautiful, but she's either gonna she's either gonna come blazing in April, or it's just gonna be a nice spring. I don't think we're gonna get a happy medium. So my guess is we still get a blast of winter. But what did
Yeah.
the dumb squirrel see? The
Oh, Balzac
groundhog.
Billy?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the
I
guy
didn't
in
pay
the
attention.
the guy in the mascot outfit up with the Highway 2. I think he said we're getting 6 more weeks of winter, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Well, that's still mid-March, so we need some rain pretty bad though.
Oh, the country's dry. Yeah, we really need some moisture. Need big dumps of snow
Yeah,
for
or
the
a lot of
farmers.
rain March, April.
We're she's going to be a tough year for the farmers and the ranchers.
Yeah.
We're, we're hoping for some moisture, boys.
Hoping praying for rain out there.
Yep.
So I read a quote the other day. My cousin sent me a we were actually on our way to our grandma's funeral, and her dad lined up a plane. He's a pilot, so he lined up a flight for us up there. For there was like 9 of us that went up there to grandma's due on the Saturday of, a lot of big rodeos back in June. So I was supposed to be in Rocky. Luckily, Matt the intern, now Matt the marketing man, soon to be. He looked after Rocky there, and we had Bill Hansen. Actually, you probably know Bill. He's Gord Bamford's sound guy, audio
Yeah,
guy.
yep.
Yeah, so Bill went out there and bailed me out. And Matt was there, so I get up to Grandma's due. But she had this newsletter she was reading, and it was from James Clear. And you might be familiar with James Clear. I think he's I might have it wrong, but I think he's the author of Atomic Habits. And this one might be from a different newsletter, but I had it written down, and it said, in the long term, you can't get better results than your consistency. I thought that was kind of a cool quote
Yeah.
as far as, this show. Like I don't know if the show's really that successful or what the deal is, but I just feel like consistency is and showing up is an important part of the success overall. Just showing up and doing it every other week.
Just doing
Like,
it. Yeah. And then there's the people that do it, and then there's the people that take that to another level
yeah.
with things. But yeah, it's a good quote. I like that.
I thought it was neat. I thought you'd appreciate it. But we're working on a few things. What else is going on? We're home for a little while here, and we got the PBR Cup Series coming up against next weekend in Lethbridge, one of the best events of the year. Been around for a long time too. Recorded the next show already this morning. Stay tuned for that. Going to be Rope Myers, 2001 world champion steer wrestler. He's doing a lot of cool stuff. We've got a big project coming up. Actually, I'm not going to release the details. We're probably going to release that next week, though, so just stay tuned. There's a pretty, what do I say, Dustin? He's a pretty influential former politician that we're working on a project with. So that's something coming up. We're going to have some cool stuff coming up that way. Right before, I guess that's right before Lethbridge, but man, there was a huge ride on the weekend. Was it Casio
Oh,
Diaz was like
well,
94.75 or something on a bull called Man Hater. But yeah, pretty cool times.
yeah, down in that was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, LA at crypto.com arena, home of the
Yeah.
Lakers.
Yeah, Jake Gardner was riding down there, I believe. Was
Yeah,
and
and Nick Tetz was there as well. Jake got one road even.
yeah, so pretty cool. The big series continues to roll on, and the winter run of rodeos is keeping everybody busy. So it's not long. We'll be back on Canadian soil starting the race to CFR Edmonton.
50. Yeah, CFR
Yeah.
50. I hope we get some more news about the CFR coming up here soon. It's been like pretty quiet for it to almost be March, and that event's coming up in what? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 9 months or less.
Yeah.
8 or 9 months. It's coming up pretty fast to have heard not much yet.
Yeah, I would think we're going to hear something soon. And I mean, I don't know what there is to hear. I guess they've got dates, they've got a venue, but yeah,
Details.
they haven't launched anything yet as far as a presence digitally or in the markets and details. So I'm
Ticket
sure they're
sales.
working on it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when it all starts getting released.
Yeah, we're keeping an ear to the ground on that one. What else we got, Dustin? The Roughnecks. You had a Sunday game because of the long weekend here. President's Day in the U.S., Family Day up in Canada. Both of our Alberta teams got the win on a Monday afternoon, and now we get to cook some nice dinner and whatnot. But the Roughnecks, you guys just you had another win. You're back in the playoff contention too.
Yeah, big win over Halifax yesterday. It was our East Coast kitchen party. So
Oh,
kiss the cod. You could
have some
do
screech.
fiddlers, some screech, and yeah, it was good. We scored 17 goals, and I think there's two or three fights in there. And
Right on.
it was funny because I was chatting with Dawson Northcott on the concourse. He
Oh,
hadn't been in the game for a while, and they were talking about the lack of fights. And no sooner was there a brawl on the field, and and then there was a couple more to follow. So it was a good rowdy affair at the next game. And yeah, we're back here on Saturday night against Philly, and then we go to Philly the following week. So
right
a
on.
couple big games and closing in on the last half of the season here.
Hey, there we go. We're around this weekend. Might have to show up Saturday actually.
Saturday
I
night, you
just saw
better
that.
be there
Yeah.
or be somewhere else.
Or do something else. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, I just wanted to make a mention too. I forgot on the last show, but I listened to a podcast with Matt and Amanda Kimes. It was an episode. Converse Cowboy is the name of the show. I really liked the format of the show. Great interview. Matt and Amanda were really open about what they did. We got to be friends with a lot of the Kimes crew, Lindsay Perriton, Jeremy Gerard, that whole crew. We got to meet them over the years at the market in Dallas. So I really enjoyed that podcast. If anybody's interested in the Kimes side of things, got to give them a shout out. Of course, like I'm torn because I'm a Wrangler guy and have been forever. So I feel like I'm cheating on Wrangler to even talk about another company. But I really like that crew. They're good people, and I love all the Wrangler crew too, and have for a long time. And it's that was a cool show though. I really I appreciated it. It was they're basically a small business turned huge business that they started in their in their moving trailer where they were selling pants. So cool story in the Western business.
Yeah, and it's always cool to listen to other podcasts, and when you get a chance to, I think people like to see behind the curtain, right? Even with like
Yeah.
cowboy shit in your life and what we all do, it's cool to go behind the curtain and see people's journeys and be a part of it. So it's always cool to recommend ways to do that, especially in the Western world where there isn't as much of it as like mainstream sports and brands and things that you can access some of that stuff a little more. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty neat. But well, speaking of that too, we've got new stuff that be hitting the website any day now here too, and the new project is on the way. We'll have more on that on the next show. But yeah, stay tuned. The 29th is the targeted date, so keep an eye out there, and if not, the next podcast. But anyways, let's get to the interview this week. We had the Hanna Hockey Tournament. It's been one that we've gone to for a long time. Dustin, you and I played on a team there together, so I made sure to throw the gear in, and I knew that Tanner Girletz and Devon Mezei would be there, and I thought that it would be a lot of fun to do a show with those guys. They traveled together for a long time and rodeoed at the same time. So we had a chat with those guys sitting at the Goose. What's the name of that bar?
Oh, is it the Canada Gray?
Canada Gray. Yeah. So those are Canada Gray Motor Inn in Hanna, Alberta, which is, for those that don't know, 2 hours northeast of Calgary. Isn't that Allie's hometown? Isn't that where you're from, Allie?
Hanna, Alberta.
Hanna, Alberta. So we were sitting around at the lounge having a couple and had a visit with these guys. So it was a lot of fun. The tournament we went, I think, 1-2, 1-1, lost 2. We beat Lowell Johnson's team though, Lowell and then Darren. We got those guys by a bit. I got a penalty for hitting a guy down by accident, and he called me an asshole when he got back up. So apologies to your cousin Allie. I don't know, didn't mean to try and hurt the guy, but anyways, always a fun time. So this was a fun chat with these guys. Once again, this is Cowboy Shit. My name's Ted Stovin. He's Dustin Edwards. Thanks for joining us this week.
to clear my head when the heat begins to roll. No, 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 no.
All right, we've done a couple shows here in Hanna before. Lowell Johnson is sitting right next to Tanner Girletz right now, but we got a pretty fun time. Hanna Hockey Tournament, middle of February most years. I've got two guys that I've known for a long time, and first guest I'd like to introduce. He made the Canadian Finals Rodeo 8 times. Now working at Bow Valley Genetics, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Devon Mezei, please welcome everybody. Devon Mezei. Oh, Dan's got his salad. And the current rodeo administrator of the Canadian Pro Rodeo Association, the 2023 Cowboy of the Year, and made the CFR 9 times. Also a Canadian champion bow rider, Mr. Tanner Girletz.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for doing this, guys. Okay, we were talking earlier. I want to get right into this story. So, the shopping cart races at Cochrane. How did this happen? And what happened? I only saw one picture.
They used to have a pro-am at Cochrane.
What year was this?
This would have been like 03, 04.
Yeah.
Something like that probably, Dev?
It would have been 06, 07, or like 06, 07, I think.
Well, judging by the pictures, I'm not fat yet, so I'm thinking it might have been before then.
Yeah. Mid-2000s anyway.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant, but yeah.
Yeah, and we just, a bunch of us went to Jody's house the night before.
Jody Turner.
Yep.
Yeah, Jody and Steve, or like Jody's house, I
Jody
guess.
and Steve, the home place, like the Turner Ranch.
Okay.
And we drank quite a bit, and then we just kind of kept going and went to the Pro-Am, and we did the rodeo. Everyone was kind of in random events all day, and
You said you entered every single event.
I don't know if the shopping cart races, one year I entered every single event, but I don't remember if that was the same year or not. But yeah, we most of the events I was on the amateur side of things because there's only one event I was any half good at. So we just did the rodeo, we drank beer all day, and then there's a shopping center right above the rodeo grounds at Cochrane when they used to have the outdoor rodeo grounds.
Yeah, they still
There's
have
like
it, right?
Save on Foods or whatever it is up on top of the hill.
Yeah.
And we found these random shopping carts there, and there's a big hill at the top of the beer gardens going down. We actually put Ray Solberg in a barrel that day too and rolled her down the hill.
Yeah, I also rode the barrel down.
You went in the barrel too?
Yep.
Like the rodeo clown barrel?
No,
like a
barrel.
steel.
Oh, a steel barrel.
Yeah, garbage barrel.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was the thing, was somebody would always go get carts or a barrel, and it was, who was drunk enough to get in these things and see how far you can make it down the hill.
Before he flew at the end.
Yeah. I do recall we made it down the hill.
Yeah,
In
we
the
did make
shopping
it.
cart?
We had the
Yeah.
shopping cart went good.
Yeah.
What about the outfits? You had no shirt on and a vest. It was a sweet.
Yeah, I don't know
setup.
where that guy. And I think I had a beer box cowboy hat on too.
Oh, you did. You look like.
I don't know where. I'm not sure where I got that. We got yelled at by Billy's mom that day too for our
Billy
performance.
Richards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Billy Richards' mom yelled
Didn't
at
you
us that day.
You fanned to your bull and she
Yeah,
was
I
mad?
got in trouble. I fanned my bull and
Not allowed?
I got an earful, but it was probably deserved.
Yeah.
Was it one of the big muleys back in the day
No.
from the Pengellies?
It was a big
Richards Pengelly
black bull with big horns that they had. That was really mean, actually. That I'd rode in the amateur days and been like 85 on him, and like he was a pretty decent bull, and
Yeah.
but he just wasn't too good that day, and I I wasn't in my right mind. We'd been drinking beer all day, and I rode him, but caused a bit of a scene, and that was actually the last year they had the Pro-Am. Yeah. But
This is the Monday, like on the long weekend.
do you know that that was actually just a prelude to somebody had a stag party that night at the hall out there. I think it was Volts.
Denton's.
Volt-
Volts'
Volts or Denton had a
Yeah.
stag party.
Oh,
out
Volts is
of- I remember going outside and having a nap in Steve's camper and coming into the
during
hall.
the stag,
Yeah,
Just
I
a
couldn't go on
mid-stag nap.
anymore.
but it
And
probably started like noon.
I came in the hall and everybody was hidden, and somebody had shot the fire extinguisher all over the hall, so it was like a fog. And I walked in the
that's
hall.
when we picked up that old native guy that was on the
Yes.
side of the road. What was his
Yes.
name? I can't remember what his name
we
was.
called him Teeter Totter.
Yeah, we called
He
him
came to
Teeter
the
Totter.
party.
Yeah.
Joey Teeter-totter. He come with us. We picked him up on the side of the road.
He hung out with us all night because in the morning when I woke up and the dust was settled, he was picking up all the empties.
And he had Denton's hat on.
Yeah,
It was all crooked.
I thought it was Denton, and it was not. But
And
Yeah.
just for reference, Denton was the stunt double for Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us.
yeah. I walked into that hall and people started throwing beer bottles and the big blue water jugs. Like it was like a fun
What
game
the
that had been
hell?
going on that I wasn't aware of. But
This was
people in the
morning or day of.
rafters. There's a chicken in the rafters for a long time.
yeah, Finkbeiner had a little brown chicken that he protected. And
Yeah, Finkbeiner protected his brown chicken.
that was the last time we were
shit.
welcome at the Cochrane Rodeo or the Darty Call.
Sounds like you were there too, Dan.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Dang.
And Steve Turner climbed that giant tree too, right to the top. And
Kirby
High centered his grandma's quad, and then she showed up and yelled at
Kirby
him and
Black.
gave him a spanking.
Yeah.
What?
The next morning there was
At the
a
hall?
picnic table burned in half over the campfire, and the quad was tipped over because I believe they tried to jump the fire with the quad.
Full
and
Evil
it-
Knievel style? This was at
Yeah.
the stag or the
That was at a
rodeo?
stag.
This is
Yeah.
stag, yeah.
Really?
Just followed the rodeo.
Holy
I
shit.
forgot about Teeter-totter.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. So this is all one day. This all happened in one day?
Yeah.
There was a stag and
You
you
know,
guys
And the next day we kept going, and we had Simon's Valley Bull Ride, and Steve tore his knee out.
on the Tuesday.
It was
That-
on a Wednesday. The bull ride was on a Wednesday, and it was pouring rain still.
Oh,
And then
really?
Steve kept going and got on fairly inebriated and tore his knee out. And we all thought he was joking around, being funny and drunk, but he actually had
broke
no
his
knee.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a wilder times.
This is like, I guess this is about, well, mid 2000s is like 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was my first year or two
Pro rodeo.
riding pro, yeah.
'Cause you made your first
We've all
CFR.
been young.
2008 or 9?
7.
7.
Yeah.
And your first was 04.
04, yeah.
Because you won, we talked about it on the last show we did together, but you won like your first 8 pro rodeos in a row.
7, yeah.
7, okay. But it was all the way from like
Yeah.
Falkland to Hand Hills. And a few
Yeah,
more.
I won Falkland, and I won Brooks. I didn't get to go to Cloverdale. I can't remember what I won. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had a pretty good run
quite a
there
few in a
anyway.
row.
I won a bunch of little tiny, kind of.
Because you couldn't get into everything at the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
At the time, there's enough guys going
Qualifications.
still that
Yeah.
there was actual qualifications still, and permits stuff wouldn't get in.
I remember entering Rodeo Royal my rookie year. They took permits max, and I had my permit. And I remember entering, and I got drew out, and I also got fined $50 for attempting to enter.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
I phoned to enter the following week, and I was blacklisted because I
Really?
got drew out,
Got a
and they
fine.
charged me $50 for
Did-
trying to enter.
Would you have fined Devon if you were the rodeo administrator at the time? Tanner?
Rule's still there. Yeah. the rule is it's just so a bunch of people don't enter that like
Aren't gonna get
guys
in.
entering in Pinoca and stuff that aren't going to get in.
Oh, really?
The rules in there just because it does waste a lot of time in the office for the
Okay.
crest girls to hand pick and draw people out.
Fair enough. Devon, what about the shake? I didn't realize that the shake so you guys did karaoke around Falkland sometime?
It was
that
Falkland
right?
Rodeo right
Yeah.
upstairs in the beer garden.
And
That was-
this was like midday. I did not realize till today
Yeah.
that wasn't like 11 p.m. karaoke. That was
And
like
I
noon
wasn't
karaoke.
young.
That was like Monday Fun Day, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
It was on our way
weekend.
home. We all did shitty at Cloverdale, so we weren't in the short round.
Were you guys all with me that time on the way home from Cloverdale where we got to that crazy party? Was that just Skylar? Were you guys on that Cloverdale way home when somebody won Cloverdale? We were driving home and we got stuck in Kamloops at this 50th birthday party? Oh, that's a different time. Okay, sorry.
I wasn't at that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was midday.
On a Monday?
I think we even rode bulls that day, but
In
it was
Falkland
just
or
I don't know,
Cloverdale?
there was
Or
didn't
Luxton?
seem like a big urgency
Well, we
to
rode
get
at
home.
Falkland that day.
Yeah, there just was no urgency to make it home.
We were waiting for the guys from Cloverdale to pick us up.
Yeah,
We had to hang out in Falkland, wait there.
we just went to the beer stand and
And they were also getting drunk, so it didn't work very good.
karaoke and I believe Ace Northcott was behind that too.
The
I was
karaoke
egged on,
time?
but yeah, it's a pretty fairly decently viewed performance on YouTube. That seems to come up once a year at least.
Well, even the shopping cart races came up just recently, Tanner.
Yeah,
You
that
had one
picture
come
comes up on my memories all the time.
Yeah, but it's so crazy because you guys are both wearing like old school sweet hats with the full like bird feathers in the front, and you're riding shopping carts down.
Believe it or not, that's not our only shopping cart story.
What? Okay, what's the other one?
In
Or are there
Halifax
multiple?
at Bubbles Mansion,
Bubbles like
Trailer Park
Mike
Boys
Smith
Bubbles.
from-
yeah.
he has a mansion in Halifax?
Well, that's his bar. That's what they call it.
Oh no shit. Was he there?
Oh yeah. Me and
No
Dan,
shit.
me and Dan are in the bathroom having a piss, and
Really?
Dan looks at this guy, and there's like 3 urinals lined up, and this guy's in between Dan and I, and Dan goes, "Are you Bubbles?" He goes, "You're fucking right, I am." He just dressed up in his normal clothes. Yeah.
No way. Did he have the glasses on too?
No, he didn't.
no,
no glasses.
he's just dressed up like normal.
No shit.
We're like usual though.
Sweet comb over. No way. Okay, was this the same time as you guys had the fight club downstairs in the hotel?
Yeah, Stevensville.
Stevensville?
Yeah, Steve didn't buy a room, so he slept in the car park garage. And they found Steve Turner. He didn't have a hotel, so he just slept in the car garage. But he found a bunch of old mattresses and stuff that were down there that were probably pissed on and stuff and gross. So
What'd you
Steve
say,
just
Dan?
built a giant fort.
right, dirty mattresses.
They're like, yeah, it was gross. But
No
Steve built
way.
like the biggest fort. Like if you were a kid and you built a fort in the living room, Steve made the ultimate fort. And we
No
called
way.
it Stevensville, and we all hung out down there all night.
And
It's
but
just-
this is the fight club thing too, though, right? Like
Yeah, we all got wrestling and fighting
yeah,
on all the
yeah.
mattresses.
But it wasn't like totally in the parking garage. It was like below where nobody was parking, and they let you guys party down there. What was the deal? Like this is PBR like in 2000 what 7, 8, 6, 7, 8.
yeah, it would have
somewhere in
been
there?
6 or 7 probably.
Where
yeah,
they
it
had
was
the
right
tour
when
out
the
east.
PBR first came to Canada.
Well, I
like
guess
the first couple of years.
First year was 06, right?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
07 Pank won.
It would have been 07, I think.
06 Schiffner won.
Yeah.
But there was the East Tour, and then so there was a whole hangout down there.
Yeah, we had a lot of
2 weeks.
Yeah, we'd go to Charlottetown and Halifax. And I think Halifax was first. Went to Halifax, went to Bubbles Mansion, did all that. And then after the bar was over, they're like, all right, time for the shopping cart races. And they just stick hockey sticks in shopping carts.
What?
And it's 4-man teams. And the streets in
It's like
Halifax are
bobsled.
like up and down.
Oh my gosh.
So I get in a shopping cart with all my buddies, and they just push me over the ledge of the big hill and just,
No way.
bye, Tanner.
No
Down.
shit.
It was,
Was Bubbles there watching this?
I don't know. Bubbles might have been in his shed at that time. I know that I was screaming.
Going so fast down the hill.
I hit a curb at the bottom and just,
Full yard sale.
oh, bad.
Oh my god. Did you hurt yourself?
No, it wasn't. Like, I
Tuck
just
and roll?
hit the curb and then just cartwheeled onto
Holy
some
shit.
grass. But
Holy shit.
You don't
then
get
we-
hurt when you're drunk because you're limber.
yeah, I'm limber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Gumby.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And then we went out to Halifax. Or from Halifax, we drove across the bridge to Charlottetown.
Yeah, on the
The
island.
first night at the bar, we met these guys. Like, you guys want to come fishing? So
Yeah, probably.
There's a whole bunch of us got on this boat, go fishing. We drank beer the whole day fishing with these guys. We caught like a bunch of mackerel.
Really?
That was the only fish we caught. We rode at Halifax, did the bar scene there, and then we drove across the big. There's a huge bridge. You just drive
Yeah.
across to
Over
Charlottetown.
to Charlottetown, yeah. To the island. Prince Edward Island for
Yep.
those Americans.
So we drove
listening.
across. The first night we went to a bar and we met these guys at this bar and they had this fishing boat. They're tuna fishermen, but tuna were out of season or whatever. But they said like they catch like 1,500-pound tuna and they're worth like $40,000 or $50,000. That makes their whole year. But we didn't get to fish them. We fished mackerels with these little like strings. And then they had like the big tuna reel on there, so we were having contests to see who could bear hug the reel. Like it was a huge like spool. And you'd have to get on it, and then we'd all spin it by hand. And I think Dan won the longest person to stay on the reel. We'd
Really?
spin it, and they'd be upside down and spin, and then they'd shoot out.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
like out
we-
in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
No, the reel was on the boat. Like the reel is suck up the net.
And you're on the reel?
Yeah, you're right in the boat. Like it's just like this big thing to suck the net in,
Holy
like a big spool. It's like a reel for a fishing rod, but it's for a huge net.
Holy crap.
It's probably like 8 feet long by 3 feet wide, like hanging onto a barrel.
Holy shit.
And you just bear hug it, and then we'd spin it, and like by the end you were whizzing on it.
Real dizzy.
Most people can make like 2 or 3 revolutions. Dan made like 7 or 8. He did pretty good. He's got good grip strength.
Yeah, and later I lost my big toe.
What happened there?
It's a little bit of competition and lifting anchors over your head or some damn thing. And I got pretty excited because I got it over my head and I dropped her right onto my big toe.
Totally lost your toe?
Yeah, I lost the nail the next day.
Oh, Oh, you didn't actually lose your toe with the big nail.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a big nail.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then me and Steve Turner decided that we should jump in the water, so we went down below, and then we got up on top of the boat, and everyone was fishing away, and we jumped off. It was October.
Oh shit. Like
Yeah.
almost winter over there.
Yeah. And we jumped in the water, and yeah, it was pretty. And then we had all the mackerel hooks stuck in us for quite a while.
Oh no.
Because there's just like 40 lines on each side.
Oh no.
But then it was time to go, and we were all arguing over who was going to drive.
Because you're kind of loaded, probably.
And we started throwing the keys around, and Aaron Gibb, someone threw the keys at Gibb for the rental car. Gibb just, I'm not driving, he just threw them overboard. We
Into
just
the
went
ocean.
right to the bottom.
How did you get around that part? Like you just
We had
had
to
no
call
keys?
the rental car place and get another set of keys.
Holy shit.
We sat there forever.
So we've got a question from the audience here. Kirk Robinson says, Ted, you always talk about the good bull rides, but what about the bad ones? I'm going to start with you, Devon.
There's too many to list. There's actually one. It's on. You put it on YouTube, and it's
Which one is this? I don't even know.
it's from Marwayne bull riding a long time ago. It was one of Tanner's bulls. Actually, I think they called him Extra Mustard.
I'm going to look this. I'm going to look
and
this up, see if we can find. Oh, it's Dan's fun.
You'll find it, yeah. And it's probably in the top 5 worst attempts that I've ever tried.
Was it a good bull?
Probably a rank bull.
Oh no, he was probably like an 18, and I was.
What happened?
Nothing. He just kind of turned back away from my hand, and I just went right onto his head and kind of helicoptered
Was it a bad
around.
wreck, or why?
No.
Why would
no, I came
upload
out
that?
of it on my feet. Like it was terrible.
awkward.
Just bad ride.
It was just terrible.
Bad
like,
riding.
Yeah, you can reference the ride. It's
We'll find it.
I mean, that's one there's footage of for sure.
We can
that's
reference the video.
That's embarrassing. Yeah.
The Wi-Fi is a little light out here. But Tanner, what about you?
I have 2. Though the bar none worst ride I ever made in my life. I had a bull at Amarillo one time called Jim Dippin. He was this
Yeah.
giant brown thing of Sammy's that was
Sammy Andrews.
super hard that no one ever rode. And if you look on Pro Bowl Stats under my name at Amarillo, I have a buck-off time of .14.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
It's tough
Yeah.
to even click the buttons that fast.
Like this.
Was it just like immediate like explosion off the chute, so you're just totally gone?
Yeah.
Or
As soon as I nodded, I went flying in the air and I landed
No
on the
way.
back of my head.
Were you
Yeah.
hungover?
Hey.
Were you hungover?
No, I think I just scared. I'm
Just
not sure
scared.
what happened.
Well, my one of my worst efforts was you had didn't or it was Sawyer had a bull named Remington Country. called him
Oh,
Remington
he come
Crazy.
from us.
He was so scary.
Yeah.
I just like opened the gate and just Jesus take the wheel.
That's
and
the
just,
one
like,
that brought
"Ah,
Deuce
so
back
scary."
into the arena when he was opening the out gate.
in
Paradise Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when I was there. It might have been the same out.
Yeah.
But anyways, terrified. But
Deuce shut the out gate. Remington Country went in the back, and he didn't get in the strip and shoot, and he come back out, and Deuce was standing at the out gate, and he hooked Deuce so hard in the back that he blew the out gate open,
oh my
and Deuce
God.
come flying into the
would
arena
hurt.
in between his antlers and got the piss hooked out of him.
Oh my gosh. Well, another question from the audience here, Lowell Johnson. You've been on the show before. Lowell had a question about bull ropes and the Brazilian side, and I never was like. I want to say it was a little bit later on when those kind of kicked in. Like I remember bringing one back one time, and I think Best Plug took it, and I don't know if it was only one Calgarian, but he had that rope and he rode with it for quite a while. But I never got one set up properly to try it out. But I wish maybe that I would have, because I maybe wouldn't have destroyed my shoulder falling off on the wrong side of an American rope. But
I
what are your
was
thoughts?
I was back and forth all the time. I would
Between
try
American
one,
and
and
Brazilian?
yeah, I would try one, then
Really?
I'd throw it away, and I couldn't get along with them forever until I went to an actual like Brazilian. I always get like Bill Page to make me one that still had like
Oh.
the floppy handle and stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason I was doing it is because my hand was so buggered up, I couldn't
Your
hang
wrists were
on to my
screwed up,
rope.
right?
It was my hand actually. My wrist was fine. It was just the actual hand. itself, my hand would swell up and I couldn't hang onto my rope.
Did you break? You broke your hand somewhere along the line, didn't you? Didn't you break your hand somewhere along the line, or what? What was the injury?
I broke my wrist
Or
on
was it
this side.
scaphoid or something.
Yeah, I broke my scaphoid on this side and my wrist.
On your free arm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was, I don't know, it was just, at the end for me, I finally took one and used it, and it just didn't hurt my hand. That was the biggest thing for me.
Because there's
with it.
less pressure on your hand.
Yeah. But you got to, like for a guy that rode bulls for 20 years to switch one my last year and then just try to change, because it does change your style. You have to.
Yeah.
And if your hand comes out of your rope in one of them, it's gone. You don't have your tail. Like when the American rope and your hand comes out, you still have your tail in your hand. You can try to hang on, but with the Brazilian, it's just your hand flies out.
It's totally gone.
Yeah.
Was it Jody Newberry one time at like a World Finals or something that his hand plopped out of an American rope and he still rode the whole bull the whole time? Or who was that?
It was probably Jody Newberry, but he was probably in 4x4 with his feet still.
Oh, his feet were locked down.
I can remember doing that, and I can't remember the circumstances. I might have had my feet in the rope too, but I remember getting on long time ago. Mitch Glanville used to make ropes, and there was a period of time there where we just get the fattest tail that could ever
really
be made
wide,
in a
mushy
rope.
ones, right?
Yeah. Not even that mushy. Like they're just like that wide and just pretty hard. They just.
Oh, really? It's a big one?
Yeah, I went to. They had a PBR in Lethbridge, and it was outside at that time. And
Was that the one where the Kesslers brought the bulls?
yeah, they had bulls there, and it was back when John Beestrom had all those muleys and those black bulls that were all so good. And
Jiminy this and Jiminy that.
yeah, and I had it was another brother, and he just he cranked her away from my hand, and my hand came out of my rope right away because I just got this rope from Mitch, and I cracked out, and it was raining, and man, I that tail wrapped around my hand, and I had it up like about middle of my
Like
chest,
a bronc crane.
and I and honestly, that was the best feeling bull ride I've ever made.
No way.
And
Your form gets very proper when you have no hands.
yeah,
Really?
like it was just
Were you
wrapped
still
around my
getting up-
hand, and I was just
getting up
holding
over
it
the
out in
front?
front of me like a bronc crane, and he was just spinning to the left, and I remember
Away from your hand even.
the whistle went,
Oh, shit.
and I remember being just in such shock of what just happened that I tried to like look back at the chutes and like whatever, and he just annihilated me or whatever, but it was like 88 or 89.
No
like,
way, with no hand.
And
I
but it was
remember
I
that.
was like, if I could do that every time, that'd be the best because it felt so good.
Yeah.
But
No way.
but with a Brazilian bull rope, like that would never be possible even.
Yeah, your hand up blow
Yeah.
out.
Oh, like you'll punch yourself in your face when they come. Like,
Yeah.
douche.
I seen a video just last week here of John Crimber was riding. Does he ride with a Brazilian rope?
I don't know that.
Yeah.
Probably.
But he got on some bucking sucker at one of those like cup events and into his hand, and his hand came out and he caught his tail for like a rounder. He got the whistle. That was
Really?
the difference.
Oh, is that the
maker.
Red Bull?
Yeah.
Dark Red Bull? Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
that.
like it was a really good ride, but I watched it back a few times, and yeah, he had his tail for a bit. So
It's crazy with the rosin and stuff they use now. Like, everyone has a lighter in their bag, and they heat this stuff up and just dump it on the rope.
No way.
Looks like syrup, and then we just had, like, Neutrogena and black rosin.
yeah, we
That was
used face soap.
Yeah, that was...
Glycerin.
Yeah.
yeah.
The bar version, the saddle soap version.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to the drugstore and buy a couple bars of Neutrogena and
Call it
get
good.
you through the year. Yeah, that stuff was pretty sticky, but you get in a wreck with it too if you'd overuse it and it'd become almost slimy, sticky.
Kind of gluey.
Yeah.
Or if it rained, like at Lethbridge.
Especially when you got to the Stampede and it was 140 degrees behind the chutes. Yeah, the game changed once you got behind there.
The red shale does not help at the Stampede either.
It's a little hard in front of the chutes.
Well, one year I made the 10 round, and I had Team Page in the 10 round, and it was pouring rain.
Kelly's bull, right?
One of Kelly Armstrong's. And I just spun my rope upside down so it'd just be under his
Underneath.
belly.
Yeah.
Thought it'd be good. And I was hiding underneath there, like, under the bleachers.
Raining
And
like
then,
piss.
okay, it's time to go, Tanner. You're first out. I went running out there, and he was laying on his belly in the
no.
chute. Just,
Wrecked
Perfect.
your rope.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, it was the hardest surface and known to man.
Still like that.
Yeah.
Tanner, what about your bareback riding career?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a career.
Didn't you make that national high school finals in the bareback riding?
Not the national. I won
That
Alberta.
was Kirby.
No, I don't think Kirby did.
was
He
the
won
one that-
nationals.
Oh no,
We all made it. We made
made it.
nationals.
You made it. Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't never win it. I
Okay.
won Alberta.
In the bareback riding.
In Alberta.
Did you beat Brett
in the
Gardner
bareback.
for that?
Hey?
Did you beat Brett Gardner for that award? Was that
No,
different years?
Brett was before my old
Okay.
bareback Jack.
Okay.
He was before me. Stand back, boys. Bareback Jack's here. He used to say that sometimes. And
He did or you did?
He did.
No, really?
Oh, I heard him say it.
No way.
Yeah. You can
Actually?
quote, unquote. You can
No
call
way.
him on this.
He called himself Bareback Jack?
From time to time.
Oh, boy.
Allegedly.
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 And Devin, you did some bronc riding yourself?
Yeah, I tried bronc ride in high school too, and I'll never forget this. I was so terrified. And we had a high school rodeo in McGrath, Alberta, and I was
You were
standing in
D1, I
line
forgot
at the
about that.
in the concession stand, and Dwayne Ashbacker had horses, and he was just right ahead of me in line, and he was talking to this other older fella, and he asked Dwayne if about entries, and how many entries he's got, and he said, yeah, it's the bull riding's good, the horse riding's a little weak, but there's a couple bull riders that entered the horse riding. And he said, oh yeah, like how's that gonna go? And I'm standing right behind him. He's and he's like oh, the guy that in the bareback riding's just got like a pretty nice little hopper. And he's like, the guy in the bronc ride, no, oof, he's got his hands full.
That was 100% me and Devin.
No
And
way.
I was so scared, and I had no idea what I was doing. And luckily, I Blaine Marr and there was another pretty reputable bronc rider there that was able to help me kind of get ready and stuff. And this horse was wild and shoot and trying to flip over and buck, and that's bar none the scaredest I've ever been in my life. and he come out and kind of just hogged around, and I was using another guy's saddle, and my one stirrup leather broke off.
Oh, no.
So I only had one stirrup. But
Worst case Ontario.
I just put my spurs in the D's, and then he started to spin. I rode him like a bull. And then the whistle went, and I was just so shocked and still terrified that I just bailed off. And then, after the fact, I remember Blaine and them saying like, "Hey, that was for your first time, like that was pretty good. Like you should try again." So I said, "Okay, I'll try again." So I entered the high school rodeo in Cochrane, and drove all
horses.
night from the bull riding trail to get to this high school rodeo in Cochrane, and Billy Richards had the horses there. And his horse runs in, and I said, and Billy had a Pilsner in his hand. This is no later than 9 a.m. And I said, Billy, I said, you mind help me put my stuff on here
Was this-
because I really don't know.
Was it? Were you friends with Billy at this point or not yet?
Yeah,
John, so maybe.
yeah, like acquaintances. Yeah,
Okay.
like Billy'd been riding professionally for quite some time before this, but
Like rookie of the year in the
yeah,
PCA.
yeah. Billy was doing well at this time.
Yeah.
But
it was Sunday. It was a day off.
So he helps me put my stuff on, and I get on, and I'm sitting in my saddle, and I'm kind of rocking and rolling around. It's like, Billy, this doesn't feel right. Like, this feels a lot looser than the first time I tried. And he said, no, that's how I ride with it. Just go ahead. And that sucker ran full speed halfway down the arena and then broke over, and I'd never hit my face on the ground that hard before in my life. And that was it. I said, never, ever again.
I'm done now.
Yeah, that was,
Oh man.
yeah.
What about the time where I fucking got on a bronc? Do you remember that time at the
At
stag?
Scooters.
At the stag, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and call you out on that because it wasn't a bronc. It was one of
That's
Shifter's
right, that's right. It
shitty
wasn't a
saddle
bronc.
horses.
It wasn't a bronc,
But
yeah.
you did get on it with a flank and a saddle
And a lead shank.
and a lead shank.
I
Yeah.
can remember, just speaking of Skylar McBride's arena, there was a time when we were all pretty young and confident, and Todd Braithwaite would always send bulls there
And some
for him
good
to buck
ones.
for the winner.
Some good ones, yeah.
Yeah, there was like Boogeyman, and
Gunpowder and lead.
there was some bulls that
Holy shit. Gunpowder
were
Lead said-
that were 90 pointers day in day out, but they were just calves at the time. They still bucked the same.
No way.
But it was just a joke. Like I can remember drinking beer all day long, and us going there and just getting on these things with rubber boots and no shirts on and like no vests, no nothing.
Hanging up on purpose.
Oh
Just,
my gosh!
yeah, like just the most irresponsible things you could ever imagine. But it was fun.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, there was a lot of great. I remember one time Jesse Anton, he brought these Longhorn bulls over that were bred to a bucking bull or something out of his Longhorn cows, and he wanted me to get on them. So Skylar set up panels, but he was too stupid or lazy or whatever you want to call it to tie the panels to the fence.
Oh no!
So this bull takes off running with me, hits the panels, and it just made a tiny little pen around me, like a stall.
No way!
And this thing's in a stall trying to hook me.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's a lot of. The hair bear used to get wiped out there a fair bit. Do you remember when we tied that one's head to the chutes? Did
Yeah,
make it turn back for hair bear?
We had a buck jump there for Boxing Day, and after we'd done all our riding, Kyle Hare was there. I said, Kyle, get on this steer. There's just roping steers, and there's one that actually bucked pretty good and would turn back.
Yeah.
And these things been roped so much that once we tied a rope around his horn, as soon as they kind of felt this rope pulling them, they would just
Do it.
crank her.
Yeah.
And Hair Bear got on this one steer, and I had the rope, and I was on the end of the rope, and I wrapped her on my waist, so I had a bit of an anchor, and this steer came out and kicked pretty good a couple of times, and just felt the tension on this rope, and just turned into me, clicked Hair Bear's heels, and dislocated his shoulder.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, just so it made us good cowboys.
Holy shit! Remember the time where it was Kirby was standing on a barrel, and you walked
That was
out.
Skylar standing on the
Skylar.
barrel.
Yeah.
That was Keenan Vine and Skylar.
Kicked it.
Yeah, Skylar started it. I have those videos. I do have
on
them.
your phone still.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And Jake Marshall was taking these videos, and the first one was Keenan was wearing this like a cape and I don't know, some kind of like elephant trunk thong or something, and he's on the barrel, and they talk Skylar, and you can see there's some riffraff going on. Keenan's not paying attention, standing on a plastic barrel, and you see Skylar ease out there, and he jogs towards the barrel and kicks the barrel out from underneath of him, and everybody laughs, and it's funny.
Because he fell off the barrel.
Keenan
pretty
was
hard.
okay. Oh yeah, because you're not expecting it, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty high drop, and then a few minutes later, just Skylar not
We'd been all
realizing
hollering
what
at
he'd
him.
done, he gets on the barrel like expecting no
repercussions.
retribution, and sure enough, you see. It was Kyle German, I think. He jogs out there and kicks this barrel from under Skylar, and he wasn't. Keenan caught it at the last minute, and Skylar had no idea it was coming, and he landed like right on his the back of his neck, and he laid there like he was dead and he was mad. He was mad at us about that for a while. Yeah, he was. But
Oh dear.
He still posts about it once in a while.
yeah. I do have those videos somewhere. They're like extremely grainy and shitty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
but
mid-
but
2010
but just
videos.
the
We took him on an
laughs.
LG flip phone.
Yeah, the laughs of the people that were sitting on the fence
Oh,
when
yeah.
that happened just made the video. Yeah, because it was. Yeah, we had a lot of fun in that arena.
Oh, speaking of not as much fun, Tanner, you can tell me to F off on this one, but what about Kai Hamilton getting on at the NFR this year after everything we've been through with Ty, and he gets on a bull again? You had a post you put up, but you took it down, and we don't have to go into this. We can edit this out. But what are your thoughts? Because I was kind of pissed off. I was in the arena that night, and I was watching the rodeo, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? How is he even riding this bull, and everybody's standing up like they're making him a hero, and we spent the last fucking 10 years trying to talk about Ty, and we're like, how does nobody know what's going on right now? I was mad, and I was like,
Just
I was pissed off.
for the record, I did not take the post down.
Oh, really?
Must have got reported or something.
Really?
They took it down.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's nothing against Kai
Not at all.
whatsoever.
No.
He was in a position to win a world title. I've done it. I've been there, not to win that kind of thing, which
Yeah.
is even makes me sound even shittier because I
don't
did the
think
exact
so.
same thing. But yeah, everything we've been fighting for, and for the PRCA, the CPRA itself, to not have control over what guys can ride and when they can't ride. We got to start taking better care of our guys. And it's nothing against Kai. On one hand, as a cowboy and someone that I think appreciates someone that can tough through the bad times, that was unheard of. Like, you don't see that shit. That was one of the worst knockouts I've ever seen. And for him to get up. And the argument I will make is he did get hit in the chest. Yes, he was sleeping, but he did get hit in the chest.
Concussion of some sort.
Yeah. But that being said, what a kick in the gonads for what the foundation has been trying to do for the last few years, and the Canadian Pro Rodeo Sports Medicine team, and everyone that's been working behind it. It sucked to watch, and I think it just kind of gave every young kid the gumption to go ahead and decide that they're fine when they're not fine, right? There's more to it than what happened and what we've seen. Like, kind of get hit in the chin, and he wasn't bleeding out his ears or anything crazy like that. He had a bruised lung, and but he hit the ground hard. Like, he was no doubt concussed. And I get that they can do a concussion test, and if they pass them, they can go. But there should be a better format, because there's no way you should be able to go the next morning.
Next morning, yeah, literally.
Yeah, wasn't even the next night.
Next night too, yeah.
I agree with Tanner. It's just such a, to me, it's not that he got back on it. It was just to me, it was the situation, and I can't say that at any point in my career, if I'd been in a position to win a world title and somebody told me I couldn't get on, I'd be mad.
If I was Kaya, probably, even with knowing
if
everything that's went on the last
if that
7
was me,
years,
I
would have probably got on too.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Honestly, if they let you,
I wouldn't
it's an
have
association issue.
I wouldn't have, being knocked out, bad before, like we all experience. It just comes with the sport. I mean, there's no dodging it. I just it's shocking to me that how he could still ride as good as he did, but because I've been. Any situation I've been like that, like I can't think, like I couldn't think for myself, right? Like, and
then like to go from that until the next morning, getting a good bowl, just
at 10
a
a.m.
nice little spinner at 10, which was perfect for the situation. But then that night, he had Devil's Advocate, and that was the best ride of the NFR, in my opinion.
Yeah, the best one, and he wins $100,000 in one night.
Yeah.
So it's shitty though. Like I wanted to get your opinion on it though, because
I guess I believe, like you said, I think it's an association deal, and if we don't start, that's the problem with not being paid athletes. Associations can't really tell you when you can or can't go, because they're paying their way to do it and paying their own. So it's a tough, like the NHL or NFL, they have spotters in the stands. If they see someone look a little concussed, they pull them off the ice and they're gone and get tested, and if they're good, they come back. Usually not that game. Usually they're out that game. For sure, like it could happen in the first minute of the game, and they'll be gone for the game.
I do like how in other pro sports they do take it extremely seriously, and if those guys do show symptoms, they pull them off the ice or the field or whatever, and it could be weeks or months before they're back, right? And I don't know anything about Kai's situation, whether he was tested or not, and the stubborn cowboy in me is like what he managed to do was like, I don't know, there's not many men in the world that could actually pull that off. But in the other sense too, if we're not looking out for each other, what are we doing, right?
The best part about Kai's injury was Donnie Gaze announcing that night, knock the dog shit out of him.
I saw a T-shirt with that on it somewhere recently. I thought it was outstanding. Okay, let's jump off of that. You got something else you want to add, Devon?
No, you've seen in the following rounds that he was having trouble.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
he was
he had a good day the
ground.
next day, and then after that, it was
done.
Yeah, he was hitting the ground, and you could see something was wrong. So I was really glad to see him shut it down for the last round. He already had the world wrapped up,
and now he's injured again.
Right?
Yeah.
What about? Devon. There's a story about yourself. You were actually 90 points in the bull riding before you ever even scored 80. Is that a true story? In Bowdoin in 2005, or what's the deal?
Yeah, well, it was one of Ty Northcott's bull runs, and
WPB back in the day.
yeah, and
World Professional Bull Riding of Alberta.
yeah,
NPC.
and I just started getting on with one hand, and I was small.
Weren't you 15
Yeah, I was 15. I was
when you entered the open bull riding?
I was small and pretty frail, and I'd actually switched hands because I started out riding left-handed and broke my arm twice just from riding. Like I just wasn't
Really?
I wasn't
In the
developed
open
enough.
bull riding already?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Like it was literally just getting pulled apart. You know. So I switched hands.
You went from left to right.
Yeah, and you know, turns out I was fairly comfortable with my right hand, so I carried on with it. And I went to that. They had a Cara rodeo that day, and I was in the bull riding there, and it was, you know, Lawrence Pengelly had a bunch of muley bulls. It was just suited for the, you know, event that it was, and they needed guys for the event that night, and Ty was there, and he come to me and asked if I wanted to get on, and I said, yeah. You know, I'd love to. And at that time, yeah, Mark Wright had a lot of really good bulls, and they were big, kind of Bramer bulls with big horns. And I had one of those bulls. Had one of those bulls first. It didn't get rode very much, and yeah, they marked me a 79. They made the short round.
In the long round.
In the long round, yeah, and then stayed on one the short round, and yeah, they gave me a 91.
Really?
In hindsight, you know, you look back, it wasn't.
Hey, but it was that day. It was a 91 that day.
Yeah, it was on paper, but yeah. So
That's cool though. So you were at 91 points before you were even 80.
yeah, technically, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. So
That's neat,
it kind of it started me off with a. That was a good boost of confidence going into
when
it.
you're 15 years old.
And then, you know, and I thought, I can do this. So I went, and that was back right before when the PBR or it was PCB at the time turned into PBR.
Before,
So you know, I started riding bulls with all these guys, because you only had to be 16.
Yeah, you didn't
So,
be like
yeah.
18. That's right.
And I can remember entering a bull riding in Red Deer right before Christmas time, and Girletz has had a bull, Heaven on Earth they called him, and he was, you know, if you rode bulls in anywhere near that era, you knew that bull.
Yeah.
He was big and
Dang. And how old were you?
15.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I wasn't technically old enough to ride in the PCB yet, but I snuck in there.
No way.
I rode the first day and bucked off, and then Ty Streeter had that bull the next day, and I was there with Tanner.
Dang.
And Ty had that bull drawn. He got knocked out or something in Regina Pro Rodeo that night before, so he turned him out. And so this bull became available to you know, basically put your name beside. And I had no idea what was going on. And Tanner said, you know, I was with Tanner, and all he said was, he's like, "Oh, that bull just spins to right. Like, you got him all day." Like,
Was he setting you up, or was he trying to give you some confidence? What were you thinking at that point, Tanner?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, he did. He just spun right.
He didn't lie. Yeah,
He just turned back the right there. He
he
didn't
just-
tell me it's vicious.
For my own benefit, he omitted a few details.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was
There's a need to know basis. I told him what he needed to know.
I was still only 15, and I
way.
I rolled in and you know, was putting my shit on, and everybody around is just like, holy crap, like,
Yeah.
what, you know, like
What's going on? This
remember,
child's about
like,
to die.
you know, I remember overhearing like Tyler Thompson behind the chutes saying like, this is you know, this is a bad idea.
Oh, no.
I had no idea what was going to happen, but
Oh, boy. So you
but-
probably rode him for 94? Or
I
what?
rode him.
I might have missed a spot. Did you? The best part of the story. Devon snaps his ass. Gets like an 88.5.
No way. He rides him at
Yeah.
15?
Yeah. There's
this
like,
is like 03, like
six
when-
guys that have ever rode Heaven on Earth. Devon Mezei was the first guy to do it when he was 15 years old.
First guy to ever ride the bull?
Yep.
Oh, my God. And this is like a bull of the year in Canada, right?
Yeah, the next year or
World
2 years
Finals
from
too,
now
right?
he won. Yeah, won. No, not World Finals because that was when
BSE.
BSE
Take
and
it
that
back.
was on.
Okay, sorry.
The year that bull won the bull of the year in Canada, he had 57 outs in Canada,
Holy shit.
and
That's a ton
like
of
he
outs
went
for a bull.
to every PBR Canada, every rodeo, girls rodeo Stuck had,
Holy shit.
and yeah, I think he got rode 6 or 7 times in his life. Devon was the first guy ever to snap him, but Devon rides him, gets off pretty good. Get him the old, yeah, fuck, I did it. And
No way. Gets him?
wide open. Hits Devon so hard. Hits him from behind.
No.
Devon's fucking, his face, I shouldn't have said the F word there. Devon's
It's okay, it's podcast,
face
it's loud.
hits his knee so hard he breaks Devon's nose.
No way.
Yeah,
Just
bloody.
folded him in half like
Oh my
Safeway
gosh.
chicken.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
yeah. He meant business, and
Holy
it
shit.
turned out to be after a number of trips. It was I remember watching. I think it was Garth Oldfield get on him at Chilliwack Bull Riding, and that was a big arena.
Big,
And
like, open arena, yeah.
yeah, and bucked him off out there ways because he'd fade pretty good that bull too
Yeah.
sometimes.
You might be the only bull rider he ever hooked.
And yeah, because and lining Garth up, and Garth fell down and ended up being flat on his belly. And that bull was so big and just had such a high head. He kind of just skipped right over him like he didn't even know he was there.
No way.
That was the key.
He used to love bullfighters. He would hardly ever hook a bullfighter or a bull rider, but he hooked a
Did
lot
the
of
bullfighters.
bullfighters. He was
Really?
fast too.
How did
and
he
big. He was terrifying.
How did he compare to Fear Me?
Well, they're the same age. They're
Oh, really? Are
yeah,
these, like,
G30
little
and
mates or what?
G3. They're
Oh, really?
right there. They probably were half brothers, I would assume. That's when we were getting all our bulls from Carlisle
Really?
before registries and stuff. Fear Me was mean, like really mean.
I saw him hook a rally
But-
tie under a fence one time.
Yeah, he was
at a
like
rodeo.
smart mean
It's
though.
wild.
Fear Me, like he was. Jesse Byrne when he started and he's doing the freestyles, no one could touch Jesse. Like he was unbelievable at freestyle bullfighting. Fear Me was the only bull that like bad baby Jesse.
Really?
Chapman had a really good fight with him one time in Oyen. That was the only guy I ever seen get along with him. Because that's how cruel we are. We sold him. No one wanted to get on him as a bucking bull anymore because he was so terrifying.
Fear Me?
Yeah, so we sold him to a guy as a fighting bull.
No
and
way.
he was a big,
Yeah, these bulls were big. Like they weren't like a
Yeah,
little
big
fighting
and
bull.
salty.
These were
like 1,700 pounders.
like if you're Jesse Byrne or anybody almost for that matter fighting this bull, like his nose is on the top of your shoulder. Like they were
big meat.
plenty big to be trying
Holy
to freestyle. Yeah, Jesse didn't really bow down from anything though. He
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Tanner, what's your most memorable ride of Devon's? And Dan's while we're at it. Let's do like a little round table here.
Dan's is easy. Rip and dip at the Canadian Finals the last round.
Oh, yeah. Like
We
89, wasn't it?
Yeah, in 06. No, we're in 89. Him and I split the last round. Dan should have been 89. I rode a little Tweety spinner to win Canada, and Dan rode rip and dip. He's like the first guy out, and we split the round.
No
It
way.
was
The
ridiculous.
sixth
Dan
round of
should
CFR.
have been like 88, 89 points and won the round flat out.
Made him look too easy, Dan.
No, it wasn't too easy for me, anyways.
But Rip and Dick went on to like go to like New York that next spring. Did you guys try and
Yeah.
sell him, or did you sell him? Or
No,
what was the deal?
Berger bought him,
Yeah.
and he had him for a little bit, and then he broke his leg down there.
Oh.
Yeah, he broke his leg at Chad's place, and we didn't get to use him that much, but he took him to a few places.
Did you sell him to, or did you just use him?
No, he bought
You
him.
bought him, okay.
He bought him and Liquid Kitty.
That was
Two
such a
bulls.
good bull. I rode him too one time, but I remember he was just so big too, and the way he boxed.
So strong.
If you did ride him, he was hard to get off.
Oh.
Like especially like I remember him wiping out Vince at Oyen, like
Northrop.
just because like yeah, like I don't know what it was, but like he was just hard to get clear of, and he wasn't vicious at all, but you'd kind of just land right where he was bucking, and he'd
Oh, really?
try like not intentionally, but he'd stomp you. But yeah, that
I
was
think
a
my
good bull.
As far as Devon goes, with my most memorable ride for Devon is probably the Heaven on Earth ride when he was 15.
Yeah, he's 15. Yeah.
That was
Unreal.
unheard of at that time, and like the level expert bull riders were scared of that bull, and Devon's is 15 years old, and being told by pro guys
Doesn't
like
know any
Tyler
better.
Thompson not to do it, it's a bad idea.
That was
Just
when
snaps
Tyler
him.
was really shitty though. Yeah.
Tyler did have a stint there where he was shitty, and
But
then
he
he
had-
got really good.
He had glasses, and he was kind of like just like had a totally different look before, right?
Yeah. No, he I don't.
I don't want
I
you to
don't-
fight me, Tyler. Like, we're cool now. But there was a time though when Tyler was different though. Like,
For sure.
Yeah.
When I graduated high school, I got done a semester early, and in January I moved to Tyler's house. And I'm by no means taking credit for Tyler's career, but that was a changing of the guard for Tyler and I's careers both. When we got together, we started working with one another and just bugging each other, and
I can't think that, of generations of riders, like, the years prior to our generation, you had like Austin Beasley, Kelly Armstrong, Rob Bell, all those guys, and then there's a little lull in the action. And then, our group was like Tanner, myself, Chad Bestplug,
Steve, Jody, Denton,
Pankowitz, like,
Pank,
we
yeah.
had a really good crew too. And as kids, like when the PBR first started and when the PCB was going on, we were able to enter those bull runs before we were 18 and riding all these pro bulls, and so much cool shit happened. Then my memorable ride of Tanner, and there's so many, but I remember watching him spur the shit out of chin music at the Radisson for 92 or something, like.
In the parking lot.
And
On 16th Ave, right?
And at
I
that
was at the
time,
Ranchmans, actually.
I thought you were going to say
It
the
was
Rumble
the
at the
Ranch-
Radisson back in the day.
Yeah.
and
different
I thought it was Radisson, but at that time, but chin music was a freaking
Whose
bucking
bull was
bull
that?
too. He was Girletz's.
One of ours.
One of your
Yeah.
own. Okay.
A big red bull that
I
not
got a
many guys
skull in my
rode.
living room.
Okay.
Yeah, not many guys rode, and we were kids.
It was like
and-
90 something, wasn't it?
and
I think I got
know,
92 or something, yeah.
like that sucker would go either way, but I mean he.
Went in your hand, though.
Looked left and went right
Spread the
and
shit out.
faded down the chutes, and I don't know what it was about when we were under the age of 20, but if anything turned back into anybody's hand, they were getting spurred hard, and yeah, he spurred that sucker the whole time, which that was in that bull's heyday as well, so it was the real deal too.
Dan, what about you for these two guys?
So when you wouldn't ask, I honestly I think these guys will vouch for me. I'm not a bull guy, and I can remember a lot of great rides. But whenever these guys were tapped, they're all good rides to me. As far as bull names goes, which ones I remember and where it was, it's not quite there.
Yeah,
Me and Dan got along good together because I always knew all the bulls and knew what they did, and me and Dan would enter together, and he lived with me, and I'd tell him what he had, and then I'd have to tell him again on the way there, and then I'd have to tell him once we got there again what he had. He couldn't remember bulls' names whatsoever.
A lot of their rides, and most part where they were, but I don't remember what bull it was.
Tanner, going back to some more current stuff, how surprised were you winning Cowboy of the Year last in the CPRA?
Fairly. I actually nominated someone else for the award, and a bunch of the organization showed up to the awards banquet, and I thought, just right, he
For
won
sure,
it.
yeah.
And then they didn't do it at the awards banquet, and I was a little confused on that. And so the next night at the perf, we were...
And you're busy because you're working the buck and shoots and helping the arena, like you're...
Yeah.
It's kind of off your radar at that point.
Yeah, and I was down below, and there's a re-ride and a steer riding, and I had to pee really bad. And so I told Kyle
Are you arena
Danes...
director, or what are you doing at the
Yeah, I'm the
CFR?
arena director,
Arena
yeah.
director, yeah, okay. Because you're the current rodeo administrator of CPRA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told Kyle Danes, I said, "Okay, Kyle, you got this. I got to pee." And that perf, our headsets weren't working. We had no communication. The first perf.
It was screwed up, yeah.
Yeah, not something screwed up, and we had no communication with anyone. Which, after the fact, I thought was a joke, and everyone could hear it, everyone but me. But they just continued not to work. So, but yeah, so I told Kyle, I'm like, I got to pee. You got this. There's one steer to buck, then intermission, then team roping. I'm going to pee, and then I'm going to go down the time of an end and get that all set up. You can't go. So why not? I got a screw up right here. And he holds his paper out, and he's looking through it. And then Billy Richards walks over. He's running cross ties at the CFR. He's like, "Oh, but what about this one? Does he need one cross tie?" I'm like, "You guys, this is kindergarten stuff. Like, we got to, if you guys
I gotta
can't
piss
handle
real
this, I'm going to piss my pants. If you guys can't handle this." And Billy's like, "Quit being a dick. Turn around and get your fucking award." And I looked over my shoulder, and my wife and kids and all the Legends crew and the Bronze and Terry and Denny and everyone were walking out. And then it kind of hit me. But, yeah, it was, I don't know. There's quite a few people that have went into my career that probably deserve the award before I get it. And one of them was just sitting beside me eating lunch a minute ago. Lowell, and there's a bunch of guys throughout my whole career. Lowell's a local guy, and he'd always be able to take a phone call or whatever when I was having hell, or he'd come to the house and practice, or not. He wouldn't practice anymore. He was retired by the time I started going lots. And I was a pain in Lowell's ass when I was a kid. Like, I used to tell Lowell, like, he'd draw one of our bulls, and I was a contractor's kid, so I'd be like, my bull's going to buck you off and muck you out, and he's going to make you bleed. And I remember one time he had White Lightning and Hand Hills, and I told Lowell, I said, he's going left. And Lowell said, no, the bull never goes left, he's going right. I said, he's going left. And the bull jumped out there, faked right, went left, and bucked Lowell off. And Lowell was fucking mad. And he come up to me, and he was mad about getting bucked off. And then I walked up and had to put my 2 cents in as a 9-year-old kid. And I told you he was going to go left, and Lowell chewed me out. And I'll never forget that. And it kind of humbled me a little bit. And then once I started riding and owning bulls, Devon and Dan can vouch for this. At the bull picking, my bulls were always the last ones to pick from for me.
Oh, really?
I was always harder on my bulls than I was anyone else's. Like, if I had a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old in there, I'd be like, leave them at home, let them grow up. Like, we don't need 7, we'll go with 6. Like, because I didn't want to be the guy that was bragging my own stuff up and trying to talk my way into getting more bulls. And, just people like that, Lowell and my dad, my wife, all you guys that are sitting here with me right now, everyone's kind of chipped in and helped out, bring me to where I've been in rodeo, and to have the opportunity to work for the CPRA now and keep being a part of rodeo is huge. And since we sold the bulls, I was kind of wondering what the heck I was going to do in rodeo after that, and I started shoot bossing a little bit and stuff, but a guy can't make a living shoot bossing, right? And now to be in the position I'm in and being able to do hands-on rodeo day in and day out, it's kind of a dream come true for me. So it was pretty surreal to get it and to have all my family and friends there and look at the people. The only other feeling I had awake in my life was the last bull I got on at Northlands. Last guy out to win Canada, I fell off. Probably the other bad ride of mine my whole life. And to look up at all the people in Northland standing on their feet, and I got a standing ovation that day when I retired. Them 2 moments are the 2 coolest rodeo moments I have, for sure.
We talked about bulls a little while ago, the Rip and Dip, and what was the other bull that you shipped at the time?
Liquid Kitty.
Was that one of the bigger bull deals you guys ever made? I never asked that question before. I don't know.
Our biggest bull deal was probably when we sold Millennium.
Millennium. Oh, yeah. That was...
Y2K. He went to Terry Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom office. That was probably our biggest one. I mean, we'd sold... When my grandpa Wilf passed away, he said if Pretty Boy Floyd didn't win Canada that year, he wanted to sell them. And then we sold Pretty Boy Floyd, Quickway, Stitches, El Dorado, and Slam Dunk to Donnie Hutzel and Flying 5. Oh, they took them bulls down there. And all them bulls went to NFR for Donnie. And then we'd sold a handful over the years. Stuntman Ray went down there. Millennium, Liquid Kitty, Rip and Dip.
Did Stuntman Ray have anything to do with Uncle Ray?
Well, yeah, he did actually. So Ray had 2. He had Stuntman Ray and Ray's Last Jump. They were his last 2 bulls he'd raised.
Yeah.
And he sent me these things, and I couldn't keep them in. They're jumping out and running around. And so I phoned Ray. I said, what do you want to do with these? Like, I can't even keep them in. He's like, I don't know, can them. So I thought I'd give him one more try, and I ended up... Stuntman Ray was really bad. He was jumping really bad. The other little Red Bull was just Ray's Last Jump. He was just wild. But the Black Muley was, like, bad. Like, he'd jump over everything. And so I roped him one day on a saddle horse, and I got him back in, and he went to jump out, and I dallied and just rode the other way, and he flopped on his back really hard and kind of knocked all the air out of him, and he never tried to jump again after that. And then I took him to Olds a couple days later, and in hopes that he was done jumping, but didn't really know. And I took him to the college for the practice, and he bucked out. He had a pretty good day. Jackson Scott actually got on him that day, and then I told Dad and Ray, I said, I think I got him. So in me saying I think I got him, they put him in the draw at Claire's home with 1 rider trip. and Brock Radford rode him that day. The year he won the Chad Best Bug, he rode him in the long round. Then he rode Freakazoid in the short round. And I think Brock was like 85 or something on him. He was such a cool little bull. But yeah, there's a lot of work there with that one. But I think Millennium was probably our best bull deal.
One other bull, 2 honorable mentions, was Dr. X.
Oh.
You know, like I don't know how old that bull was when, you know, he moved on from you guys, but like Doug Groves bought him and bucked him for another like 4 years. And that bull didn't really miss.
It's a black white face horn bull, right?
Yeah, he had little horns.
Like kick freaking hard. And
he went to the World Finals. He went to the Canadian Finals. He went everywhere for us, and that was a great bull. And then that was actually my sister's bull.
Really?
And Savannah sold him to Doug Groves. It's actually Derek Young she sold him to, and then Doug ended up with all them bulls from Derek. And that was if you want to talk about one, like if you could have a potload of them everywhere you go.
I watched that bull. Like I watched all of my heroes, you know, as a young guy and riding steers and stuff, get on that bull at the Canadian Finals and everywhere cool in Calgary, and you know, if they rode him, they were winning. You know, and like, you know, fast forward to legitimately probably 7 years later, I got to pick that bull in a short round and get on him, and it was almost like, I just remember, like, I picked him just because of who he was. Like, I was like, I watched this bull, like this bull was like, you know, the shit for quite a while. You know, just to say I got on him. But I don't know, how old do you think, like,
He'd have been 12 or 13
yeah,
at least when he was still going.
And in good shape, and you know, he wouldn't always stay in the spin, but like nobody hardly rode him. Still, like, he kicked lights out, but just longevity, like that was, you know, so rare in a bucking bull anymore. And but yeah, that was another great out of the Girletz herd.
Devon, what about yourself? Moving on from the rodeo side of things, and you did very well in the rodeo business in Canada. Made your way down to the PBR's top level. But what's it like for you now? You got a couple kids, and you're going to hockey with the kids, and like it's interesting on the other side of it now, though. Like we're done, like we're all done in the competition side of it. But it's, you know, Tanner, you're on the CPRA side of things. But what's it like for you, Devon? You're kind of a little bit less involved in the rodeo side of things now.
I think what's interesting is, and it's it's something that we all experience to some degree, but we don't ever talk about it, is how lost you are when you're done, right? I like, when I was done, I was done. Like, I didn't want to get on a bull ever again, and and that was an honest feeling, and I still don't. But you know, to say that too, it was like, well, you know, who am I? You know, what, like, you know, I was this character for my whole life, and now I'm nothing, right? And you know, it took me a long time, like, you know, probably the better part of 3 or 4 years, really, of really feeling lost, and it was a shitty feeling. You know, and then I worked a lot of jobs, and I've always been involved with cattle in the ag world, and I decided that's what I wanted to do, you know. But I kind of had an unrealistic expectation of, I said, you know, wouldn't it be great if I could work in the cattle world, you know, but not have to, you know, put every day a 12, 14-hour day in, you know. And so I went to, you know, after kind of bouncing around jobs and trying to figure out, you know, who I was and what, you know, what I was, you know, what next, right? I was still young. I was only 28 when I quit, you know, coming 29. So, you know, I started with Alta Genetics. I was always really interested with, you know, in the buck and bull game. I had bulls and stuff too, a little bit here and there. So, you know, that part of it really interested me, and, you know, I got to go there, and I said, this is it, you know, like, you know, it doesn't pay very well, but, you know, I'm gonna put my head down and you know, as interesting quotes, it's, you know, you'll never be paid what you want if you're not willing to do any more than what you're paid for, you know, at the time. So That's what I did for a few years, and it was hard. You're right, and in that I was given some pretty big opportunities. There just because of that, and ever since then it's been a big learning curve. So I left there in last spring and took a job with Bow Valley Genetics. It's more on the cow embryo side of things now, as a general manager. So, I was just a bull rider, right? I don't have an MBA or, nothing. So, now I play a pretty big role in a decent sized company. But now, this is who I am now, right? Like, after all those years and being lost, it's, this is what I am. This is what I do. I think there's always guys that get to stay involved with the sport, and that's perfect. We all can't do that, right? But I think if you're able to and make a living at it, that's perfect, right? And, Tanner, for example, a lot of my friends, right, are still, that's great. That was kind of always like the dream, but like I say, it doesn't work out for everybody, and I'm really happy to see Tanner where he's at in the position he's in, because he's, I think he's got a lot of waves to make, right? I think he's got the personality and the knowledge of the sport to take it to places that we've never seen in, a lifetime. So it's exciting. It's exciting to watch what some of these guys are able to do with the sport, and even surrounding concussion things. I would suspect that at some point, we will get there and be able to have some pull there, which is a massive step. And without somebody like Tanner involved in the position he's in, that probably wouldn't happen, right? But I think that's something we'll see, and it'll be because of somebody like him, and even replays, right? I think
leaders in the industry.
Well, allegedly.
Getting that done.
Yeah, allegedly. Yeah, I wouldn't even say like leaders in the industry, just someone who gives a shit and wants to make a difference. That's what rodeo's been lacking for a long, long time.
And
is
nothing
someone
against
that's
people previously, just
nothing against it.
No,
But like everyone's just been so content. Rodeo's just been clipping along at the same pace for 50 years.
I think what's interesting is that it's not just rodeo; it's everything.
Yeah,
it's everything, right? And that was my
like
was my choice.
Yeah, Devon's business he's in now. There's like huge markers in the embryo and breeding business in Alberta now that weren't there 10 years ago. Like
Devon was the first one to tell me about inflation. He was like, "Yeah, fucking talk about a rodeo like Bruce. It's paid $3,000 since 1985. Hasn't went up with inflation."
And some of that,
sort of call you out, Robbie, but it still is the same payout it's been for a long time. Yeah. Donnie Joe told me that Morris still pays $3,000. It paid $3,000 in 1985, and now it's 2024, and it still pays $8,000.
I think a lot of that's hard to mitigate for those smaller rodeos because it's
tricky
just
when it's
not
a committee thing too. 100%.
We don't do that without sponsors, and it's hard in the smaller towns to get that backing. But yeah, I mean, I think with anything you do, I mean, look at even yourself, Ted, with what you've done. In life after bull riding, it's if no matter what you do, if you just give a shit, and I don't even think you have to put 100% effort in. I think it's 75%. But if you put 100, if you devote yourself and you just give a shit, no matter what you do, you're gonna do great things and get opportunities every day that 99.9% of people don't get because you're going through the motions, right? Day in, day out.
Life is like riding bulls in the pouring rain. If you give a shit, you're gonna win.
And it's hard to give a shit.
It is very hard.
In the pouring rain.
It's hard to give a shit in the pouring rain. So that's a good analogy because that's just how it is, right? Yeah, I mean you got to start somewhere, and it sucks at the bottom, no matter where you're at. But if you give a shit and you're pulling your rope in the rain and you want to be there and you want to ride, you're you're gonna outperform 99% of the guys there because it's very easy not to give a shit.
Devon, I've already asked Tanner from a previous show about his definition of cowboy shit, so I got to ask yours, and then Tanner, if you want to update yours, you're welcome to. Before we wrap it up here,
I don't know. I think it goes, even outside of rodeo cowboys, right? I think of, just off the top of my head, I think of, a good friend of ours, Tyler Kraft.
Congrats to him too,
now,
kicking ass out there.
That's a man that when we were young, he, quit riding broncs and went to work at the Stampede Ranch, knowing, almost full well he couldn't ride and, help at the ranch. And same thing, right? There's a man that, started at the bottom and just he's an amazing horseman, and that's cowboy shit, seeing a guy, my age and a guy I grew up with and picking up at the NFR and, having all those great horses and knowing damn well the effort that has to go into that, that's cowboy shit. I think it goes right from making a rank ride down to things like that. Just, it's super impressive.
Tanner, would you tell me the Guitar Hero story about Kraft in Odessa?
He used to wear his black Wranglers, and he'd wear a T-shirt with no sleeves on it, and he'd play. It wasn't Tyler Kraft. That was Ty Elliott that was playing guitar.
Okay, because wasn't
Kraft-
somebody at home?
Kraft was a character, though.
Kraft he'd put a Black Hawk album on as loud as he could and have little concerts by himself in the dorm room. And we'd catch him sometimes. But Ty Elliott was one of the Guitar Hero. He told us we were stupid. You guys are stupid. You're wasting your time with Guitar Hero. And then one day we come back from the town or whatever.
And you guys, because you guys were away, he was home, and you had,
we went to town or whatever. And we could hear music blaring in our dorm room. And we opened the door really quiet. And Ty's in there, and he's mid-power kick with his Guitar Hero. Just power kick, like he's honing his skills. So he can just one day, give me that thing, I'll show you guys how to beat you. But, yeah, we caught him red-handed.
Oh, so it wasn't Kraft. Okay.
No, it wasn't Kraft. Kraft would just Black Hawk once in a while.
Okay. You didn't go to school there, though, right, Devon? You were there a bit, though.
Yeah, I was there with those guys a little bit, and I had a lot of fun. And I got, I went down to nationals in the bull riding, and I got third.
In the whole, everywhere?
Yeah.
Overall? Oh, wow, no shit.
But at that time, it didn't really mean, anything to me.
Who won it that year? Who was, top 5 that we knew?
I can't remember
Mooney
offhand.
Or somebody was
but
probably in there at that point.
LJ Jenkins,
won it the year I won.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Cantor, all those guys, JB, all those guys were there at that time. But anyway, so that that really opened the opportunity to go to school for me in the States, and I had a lot of calls and offers, and I didn't even know where these places were on the map, and I was talking to these guys.
Scandia Bulldog doesn't know where that is.
After and I was a little bit younger than Tanner and Chad and Ty and all those guys, so they'd already been there for a year before I had, and
I was probably on my way home at that point.
Tanner was actually
your truck made a lot of miles though down there.
Oh,
no offense to Tanner, but I seen what happened to Tanner when he went down there.
What exactly happened? Would you tell the people that might not know?
Well, it was nothing bad. I think it was just college. College will get to you.
Was it the freshman 15?
Turkey left here with
a day.
Turkey left here with baggy pants and came back with a new size. It was funny though because he made it work, and I'm just like, that's what's gonna happen.
I also won Canada when I come home.
Yeah.
As a fat guy.
No, I'm not saying it affected his ability, but I was just, all those guys, they pretty much went down there and spent a year, maybe whatever, and then they came home, and I was just like, that's what's going to happen to me.
Well, I remember a 30-pack of Keystone Light was $11.99.
Yeah.
And a
oh my god,
12-pack of water was $11.99. So
no way.
But I can remember
simple math.
They didn't have a lot of courses I was interested in. I remember talking to the coach from, I don't know if it was in Borger or Kansas or somewhere, but anyway, they sent me their course list, and nothing really piqued my interest. And I talked to him on the phone. I said, it's nothing. Not that I don't want to come ride there, but nothing really piques my interest. And he's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, I don't want you to come here to go to school. He's like, I want you to come here and ride bulls. He's like, you need to he's like, what you need to do is you need to come here, take golf course management, spend the day on the golf course, and then just go ride bulls in the evening.
That
So
would
I'm
have
like,
been good looking back.
yeah.
I took scuba diving.
You took scuba diving in Odessa?
Yeah, I did, and then me and Kraft both took it, and then we went to like 3 classroom sessions, and we weren't in the water, and we both quit.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't go. I was making good money for the time for my age riding bulls, and I didn't have
Were
any
you a tagging queen then?
responsibilities. Yeah, I didn't go to school. I moved to Wardlow area, in with Jason and Tanner actually.
That's a guy. If you want to get a good podcast together, get Jason Finkbonder on here with us too, because we
Really?
Oh yeah,
Really?
The 3 of us have done some.
We did a lot of funny shit out there and had so much fun until Kirby came back from vet school, and then we had to move out.
Me and Devin
But,
got kicked off the couch when Kirby come home.
But to credit all of that, I look back and growing up, my work ethic wasn't great, and things like that, and hanging out with the Finkbinders is where I learned how to work, right? Like I can remember going out with Jason and Tanner and getting drunk at the Patricia Hotel till 2 a.m. and coming back and passing out in Jason's little cabin, and Stuart, you just hear it. You hear it come at this. The sun
They
was
feed
just
with a
peeking
team.
up. Yeah, they feed with a team of
no
horses.
shit.
A team of horses
And
in
small
square
square.
beds.
Winter or like
In
all
the
year
winter
round?
time. In the
Yeah.
summer, they're all in grass. But
Oh,
through the
no
winter, they
shit.
feed with a team. And
Several
square
hundred
bales.
bales a day almost. But anyway, you'd be passed out on the couch feeling like shit, and you could just hear the horses coming up the road, just,
and you knew Stu was coming in for morning
Yeah.
coffee, and if you didn't have it on, he's going to be pissed.
you'd hear him stop. He'd just come in the house, yell at us for not having the coffee on, call us a bunch of lazy losers, and he'd sit there until we got up and
Yeah,
put
every
our
morning
shit
the
on.
exact same. They'd,
Yep.
Pete or Slim Spud, whoa!
Yeah.
And that was the 2 big rolling horses. Either Slim and Spud, whoa, or Nip and Chip, whoa.
No way.
And if whatever team he had, by the end, Stu had grossed us enough for not making him coffee and being a piece of shit. That by the end, me and Devin were driving a team, and Stuart and Jason were driving a team.
No
so
way.
we were double.
Yeah,
and then
actually,
we crashed. We
I
rear-ended
rear-ended
him
his team. Yeah, if that was even possible,
with a team.
With a team.
Oh, yeah.
He taught us how to rig the team up and everything like that. And he sent me and Tanner bedding with it. We got stuck. We got it wedged. Somehow we got a post wedged between the first and second wheel, and I don't know. Somehow we got out of that one. But then I remember driving it across the field, and I think Stu was ahead of us with the other team.
He was, and
And
Marion come out on the side by side.
And I was
to
gawking.
talk.
Yeah, I was gawking, and the
Stu stopped.
Stu stopped, and I just wasn't paying attention. I just rear-ended the wagon. I didn't think
The pole in between the horses just went right through the backboard of Stu's wagon.
they would do that. But yeah, we got in a team accident out in the middle of
We
a
were checking
field.
cows on heavy horses bareback.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Like looking back on all the wasted time we had. Another sweet story. One, we had this big intuition that we're going to start going to Brooks and hang out with Robert Bowers, which is also like probably a legend that probably rode more rank bulls than anyone ever.
Oh yeah. With
Maybe
either
not
hand.
just in Canada, maybe
Either
ever.
hand.
And so we'd go. Robert lived right across the road from the gym in the pool in Brooks, and we'd go into the gym. And me and Jason were down the pool one time, and Devin was upstairs on the treadmill, and the treadmill overlooked the pool.
Overlook the pool.
There was a girl walking across in a bikini, and Devin, he's starting to lean forward, gawking at this girl, and all of a sudden he stubbed his dick on the treadmill. Down he goes on the treadmill. It was me and Jason just happened to be watching from the pool. It was awesome.
way.
The best thing about that workout program was we drive from Wardlow to Brooks to go work out, go
half an hour probably,
run
right?
and
Like,
lift weights and whatever. but we could never seem to make it past the Patricia Hotel on the way home. So we'd go work out.
Cancel our workout with beer and steak.
Yeah, and we'd stop by. We need supper, right? So we'd just drink 12 beer and eat a big fat steak, and yeah, it was all for nothing, but it was fun.
It was fun.
Do we have anything else to finish up here? Got anything else, Tanner? No? Okay, thank you guys both for doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I
Dad.
got about probably a record-setting game coming up here. I think.
Let's
Oh,
go
yeah.
play some sports.
All right.
I'm a $10 cowboy. I play a little guitar. People always ask me if I'm a rodeo star. Doubt if I got 8 seconds, but I can sing you a song. Like a big bull rider, I'm steady holding on.
Once again, thanks to Devon Mezei and Tanner Girletz for having a fun time doing the show with us in Hanna at the hockey tournament. Dustin, there was something I forgot to get to though. Last time we did a show, I want to say I didn't hear much about it yet, but the Calgary Stampede in partnership with the WPRA Women's Pro Rodeo Association, it says they're thrilled to announce a new opportunity for the women of rodeo to compete for an exclusive spot at the greatest outdoor show on earth. And then goes on to quote Stampede CEO Joel Cowley. This year, we're pleased to add another path for both rising stars and familiar faces to qualify for our prestigious rodeo and Rocky Mountain Cup. The Rocky Mountain Cup he's talking about is the team roping and the breakaway that is kind of like at the Nutrien. You probably were part of it last year, Dustin. Were you in that building, or was that year before that you worked?
Year before, and it wasn't last year, but last year was the combined
Both
team
of
roping breakaway. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're having an event in Salina, Utah, April 11th to 14th. They're calling it the WPRA Western Regional Barrels and Breakaway Competition. They're opening it to barrel races and breakaway ropers from across the U.S. and Canada. The event will be the Calgary Stampede qualifier, or the marquee event for the weekend will be the Calgary Stampede qualifier. Competitors will have a chance to enter the Calgary qualifier if already entered in the WPRA part of permit-only race, as well as the breakaway. The top two finishers in the average standings in the qualifier barrel race and breakaway roping not already qualified will earn a spot to compete in their events at the 2024 Calgary Stampede. Only 30 ladies in the barrels and breakaway will get the honor to compete in Calgary in July. So Jimmy Monroe is the WPRA president and goes on to talk about it a little bit. Entries are going to be open March 1st. The Calgary Stampede started doing the barrel racing qualifier in June of 2021. That was at the Danes Ranch that year. It says it gives athletes the opportunity to race for their chance to be part of the world's largest outdoor rodeo. In addition to this opportunity at the Western Region event in the U.S., the Stampede will be hosting their barrel racing qualifier June 11th and 12th at the Nutrien. The top three from that event not already qualified will earn a spot in the Calgary Stampede. So that means there's 5 spots now up in these qualifiers. And I think honestly these qualifiers are, Dustin, we talked about it. I think it's a cool idea. There's like technically this is a one-off qualifier that you got to pay to enter and whatnot. But any other competition people are in, it's technically a qualifier too, since they're doing it off standings now and it's not totally an invite rodeo. So maybe a more direct path for those that want to go to Calgary. But I think honestly for the bottom line, the Calgary's probably making some money off this thing and they're seeing the success, and maybe that goes to an all qualifier rodeo in some capacity. I don't know what the entire plan is, but I just thought it was different to have one in the US. And I know that Calgary has a ton of stock contracts in the US. And what else would I say, Dustin? I know I've been hard on them before. At different times, right? I'm not trying to be hard. I'm just saying it's an interesting format to do it. And there's 5 spots in the barrel racing for qualifiers, and then 25 the other way. Like there has previously been 4 people in the, what are we saying? 4 people that come out of the Canadian standings, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Maybe 6. I don't even know. I haven't paid enough attention lately, but it's totally different now.
Top 4, but it's interesting because, 30 people come, 5 of them are going to come in based off, I'm guessing, 2 runs that they have to put together, where the
Yeah,
other
2, 3,
25
4.
come off what they've done in a whole rodeo season, getting the NFR, winning a world title, being a former Calgary champ. So it's interesting that 25 people, it's a real earned position where you can piece together 2 really good runs in 2 days, and you're competing for
100 grand.
$50,000 or 100
Oh yeah,
grand.
sorry. It's
Yeah,
not 100 again yet. I hope that changes this year. I mean,
yeah.
I hope so.
Interesting what it's done for the American with the qualifiers and the amount of events leading up to it and opportunities. It's obviously a big marketing, money making thing. So I wonder, with it being in the US, if you'll see because there has been American girls who have qualified up here through this event. Maybe you see them stay down south and more Canadians qualify through all 3 spots come June, potentially.
It,
Or maybe you see anyone who didn't make it in April are like, hey, now we're all going to go to Calgary and try and get in at the second. You
in
kind of get
June.
2 chances now, right? So
Yeah. I I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of torn on this one.
if they did it for the bull riding and they said, we're going to take the best 25 guys based on Canada, PRCA, list, and the other 5, we're going to have a bull riding in June in Calgary. And the top 5 guys, say it's 5 guys who ride 2 bulls, anyone can enter, could get in. You could be an FCA guy. You could be
yeah, a retired guy to come out
you
of retirement. Yeah.
could ride 2 for 75 and get in. Like, if it was other events, like, what would be the reaction by the industry, I guess?
I don't know. I I oh, what am I trying? It's kind of a weird one too, because I don't know what the heck this event is. Like, it seems like kind of, I don't know if this is a big event in the US. This what are they calling it? The Western Region Barrels and Breakaway. Like, it just seems like there's, I think there's only $17,000 in prize money up, 17.5 it looks like. Um Maybe, I don't know, it's saying non-members are welcome. It just seems like if you're gonna do this and it has something to do with Calgary, like, why not do it in Houston? Like, say if you're in Houston, or if you're at like San Antonio, or maybe there's a series or something. Like, it seems odd for it just be a little one-off event. And I think even with Calgary's qualifier, with having just their own qualifier, they like, why don't just do it in one of the rodeos at home, or make it like a series of Canadian rodeos like we used to do at the tour finals, where
Yeah,
the
like a
top people in the
tour.
tour, like that draws more people to more events across the country, rather than creating a new event where people aren't even at. It's just like a jackpot to get into Calgary. Like, I
Well, June
I
11th
don't
and
know,
12th, that's a
like a Tuesday,
weekday,
Wednesday,
right? Yeah.
right?
You're,
No crowd there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
interesting.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'd be curious if we look back and, we chatted about some of the names that have made it through the Canadian qualifier in the past. And when you're watching the event live, it's some good storylines, because I feel that every time some of the contestants have run, it's like, oh, they're here for the qualifier. They're here for the qualifier. And it'd be interesting to look at, like, how much money those contestants that have got in on the qualifier have actually earned in the pools, how far they've made it at Stampede. It'd be interesting to see, like, are they going there and are they competitive, and are they
Yeah,
who
be
they are and
interesting.
what they've done. And not a knock about against anyone who's been there, because it's one thing to qualify there, then you got to go there and take on the best 25 in the world,
Best
you
30.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I'd be curious to dive into it a little more and see what the results have been of the people that have qualified.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder. Um, anyways, I just wanted to bring it up and kind of create some conversation about it and see what people are thinking. And, I'm still going back to my thoughts on, I think that the tour finale and the tour finals, and having that all, culminate to a spot at Calgary, I thought that, promoted Canadian rodeo and further increased the entries at some of those rodeos, so
But when it's
people
not a
would go to that
CPRA
tour.
rodeo, they really have no allegiance to do anything with the CPRA. You're not even
Yeah,
running.
which is crazy when, when uh when it's in Canada and it's not even a CPR rodeo in any capacity. That's kind of wild. It's the only Canadian Rodeo that's PRCA before CPRA. Like
So
that seems like weird.
for them to do a qualifier with the WPRA makes sense because they're already sanctioned event with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm curious what everybody's thoughts are. So let us know in the comments on the show, or give us a shout somewhere on the social media. Let us know what you think about the Calgary qualifier in Utah.
Maybe we'll dive into some of the success rates and the numbers down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe find out a way to crunch some numbers. But anyways, Dustin, thanks for making it work today. Happy Family Day weekend. Happy President's Day in America to all our friends.
Happy Louis Riel Day to all those in Manitoba.
Oh, that's what it is in Manitoba?
I think so.
Oh, cool. Cannot confirm or deny that statement. But make sure to check out the website, cowboyshit.ca. Check out some of our older episodes. Check out the clothes, the hats, the T-shirts. We got new stuff hitting the website here all the time. Got some new stuff that's doing great out there so far. Some cool new designs from Storm. Working on a lot of stuff. So exciting times. Lots going on, and hopefully spring is almost here, Dustin.
I think it's coming.
It's on the way. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Cowboy Shit. My name's Ted Stovin. He is Dustin Edwards. Appreciate you always stopping by.
This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold'em. So lay your cards down, 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 down. So park your Lexus and throw your keys up. Stick around, round, 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 round. Stick around. And I'll be damned if I can't slow dance with you. Come pour some sugar on me, honey, too. It's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a bitch, come take it to the floor now. Woo! There's a tornado.